A tutorial on how to turn the petals down on a flower. When you're working with flowers, you can just stack them, leave them flat and stack them, but it gives it so much more personality and interest when you curl the edges, and it's really easy to do. I use a needle tool like this, a paper piercer, but if you don't have that, you could also use the end of a paintbrush, a bamboo skewer, or any small rounded tip. And it's really simple to do. I hold on to the flower at the base of the flower, and I'm going to put the tool behind the petal. I'm going to put my thumb on top of it down by where the petal goes onto the base right there, and I'm going to slide it towards the end like that. Simple as that. Start at the base, slide it out. Start at the base, slide it out. Then, because it'll look a little bit like this, you can hold it at in the middle and take the flower petal, and you're going to bend it like at a 90-degree angle, and then kind of cup it over with your, put your finger under it and make your thumb go over it, so that you're just kind of giving it a little shape and making it stand up. Get it a 90-degree and curl it like that. And we'll do the other one. For these 5 petal shapes, 5-point shapes, I like to do 2 and just stagger the petals. I'll put a little bit of glue in the center. Make sure I stagger the petals. Like this. And then I can put a pearl or flower soft or seed beads, anything I would like in the middle. I'm going to be mailing the card, or if it's a mini book, I will put a little dab of glue. Even though this has adhesive on the back of it, I feel a little more secure with some glue there. This is a sugar dot, glittery dot thing, and I pressed too hard and made the glue seep out, but you can get the idea. So the flat one compared to the one that's just curled under, I think this looks a lot better. I have different dimensions worked out for you on my blog that you can download to make it easier. This one I did too large. This was the Prima Optimist paper and the 6x6 pad, and this was a sheet from My Mind's Eye that was pink. And I've used 2 big, 1 medium, and 1 small, and then I put black rhinestones in the middle. This one was black chalkboard paper that I put little dots on with a chalk marker, and I put this was white cardstock that I colored with distress paint, picked raspberry, and then put the rhinestones in the center. This was too large and too small. 2 large and 1 small. Just play around with the sizes and the different groupings. There was 2 large, a medium, and a small. This comes out really well. This was white cardstock that I inked with Distress ink pads and the blending tool. Lindsay Stamp Gang on white cardstock for the pink. I stamped over it with a script stamp with Stays On ink. And then this was the die cuts with a view. No, this was white cardstock that I painted black, and I stamped over it with the white with just a circle stamp, a pattern stamp. And I curled these up. I'll be showing you that next. But these petals I did just like I showed you. Also, at the very least, if you don't want to try to bother with that tool, if you just take a flower and just bend it up with your fingers, if nothing else, that helps it look a little better. It doesn't stay as long. That's why I like to do it with the tool. It holds its shape better if you do it with a tool. This was white cardstock painted with picked raspberry, black die cuts with a view chalkboard paper with the white dots with a marker from a chalk marker, and a big pearl in the middle. This is too large, a medium, too small, and then I put Flour Soft in the middle. So I'll be doing some other videos with Flour Soft. Oops. This one is actually the die cuts with a view blue, bluish gray chalkboard paper, and I put dots on it and then filled in with glass beads, the tiny marbles. And so I'll show you with the this was die cuts with a view chalkboard paper cut with the Tim Holtz tattered floral die. I'm just going to curl those petals down, and let me show you what happens if you encounter that. I have found that this chalkboard paper cracks and tears apart if you try to do too much with it. But let me show you what to do. On this that just separated, I will just put some glue in there and glue it back together, and that chalkboard layer is so thick you don't really notice it. And see where you can still see that white line? I can go over that with a Sharpie marker, or this is right handy, it's my sketch marker, Faber-Castell Artist Pitt Pen, big brush Pitt Pen. And I will put this back on the flower, but when I go to glue it on, go to glue these together, I will make sure this is the bottom shape, and I will make sure I put more glue right there where that flower is to support it. So I also use a applicator bottle that has a narrow tip, and it has a straight pin in there to keep it from clogging. And they come empty, and you can fill them with whatever you want to. I like to use Aleene's Tacky Glue. I know a lot of other people like to use Scotch Quick Dry Glue. Just whatever your favorite glue is, use that. But it's handy to have this little narrow tip applicator when you're making flowers. Also, when you're doing cards and the corners are separated, here's one I'm working on. If I didn't get enough adhesive at that corner, that little nozzle is great to go in and put a little bit of adhesive. Sorry, I did that off camera. That little nozzle is great to go in and put a little bit of adhesive to hold that down. And especially in the middle sections, if I didn't get quite enough glue in that section, you can just run a thin line of glue and it will hold down. So these are very handy. And again, hold it in the middle, curl the petals, bend them up, and I will put glue in the middle and put some right where that broken petal was. And then once I stagger the petals, hopefully you will never notice that. I find that the tattered florals, This one in Tattered Florals doesn't always want to line up right. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. But here I have a couple of pieces of white cardstock that I've painted with the Distress Paint. And I'm just going to do the same thing to it. It's also 5 petals, but the petals are broader. And I'll bring them up. And here, I'll get tight on this next one so you can see. I'm going to put the tool behind it, my thumb on top, I'm holding it with the other hand, I'm sliding towards the tip. Then I bring it up and kind of tuck it over like that. Bring it up, tuck it over. Bring it up, tuck it over. Just like that. And I've already done this one. I'll put a little glue. And because of the chalkboard paper doesn't, the glue doesn't absorb as quickly, you got to give it a little bit more time to dry. You might also try a more aggressive glue. And then you can put something in the center. I like to use glass beads, seed beads, rhinestones, anything that works for you. This is tiny black seed beads. And the Prima Optimist has some centers, enamel dots that work well for this. That was a Prima Optimist one. And there you have it. Here's one that's kind of the opposite. I could go in and put dots on one of these if I wanted to. But they make really trendy flowers and are really fun. Thank you for watching. Bye.